Hello everybody, it is that time of the week. It is your illustrious host, Infernal Dragon, Dragon's Fury.
Hope you all doing well.
And we hope that you are all caught up. If you are not, and because you are new, welcome. If you are not cut off because you've just been slacking, do better.
Damn.
Yeah, that's like I'm gonna say. We are at 103, 130. Yep. This episode is 130. That we have made available in order to be able to listen to all 130. You got to be a part of a subscriber track, being audio only here on Spotify or on the Patreon. Link is in the bio. But yeah, 130. That's a pretty big number. We've been at this for a little minute.
Just a little
bit. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. We are getting closer and closer to the application time because it is October. We are well into June. So next thing you know, it'll be July, and then we'll be halfway through July, and so on and so forth, and we'll be through summer, etc. So make sure you get those views up for us. Make sure you get the likes, the subscribes on the YouTube, so that way we can prove that we are cool people to have a panel at MegaCon next year. Yeah. So we're just gonna pop on into it after what we are going to talk about, which is apparently the Matrix broke this past week.
What makes you say that?
A lot of things have been collectively breaking, and it's been quite interesting of what's been going down in all aspects of life, frankly. Obviously, we all know that the social sphere is a mess and a half. People think it's okay to do certain things and then not have consequences, and we're just like, what? That doesn't seem like it's a good idea, but hey, if you know, you know. I am not going to go down that rabbit hole of nonsense, but in the more gaming realm, in the more of our speed, if you will, Apex is in shambles.
Nothing new there.
Well, yeah, it's not so much of new. It's just this particular week. Thor's hammer crashed twice when we were playing today, and I crashed like twice earlier in the week, and it's just been freaking ridiculous.
I'm going to assume the crashes are due to like the people hacking and all that.
I couldn't tell you. And then there's that. There's the freaking the latest rollout of hacks, if you will. I'm glad that we're not in a high enough elo of a lobby to have to deal with that, but like at the same time, I couldn't imagine being in those kind of lobbies to deal with and then find out that you get killed by someone who is like literally on the other side of the map, shooting at the ground in a circle, and you get freaking taken out
by like 5 guns.
Right. I will never understand it, as we've mentioned in previous episodes. It just doesn't make any sense why you would want to ruin an experience for people in that fashion, and it's beyond me. But I'm going to work on getting the footage from Mermaid for the Patreon. So if you guys are subscribed there, you'll get to see in detail of what I'm about to talk about. But Apex broke in the most hilarious fashion at all, like ever, frankly. So me and Mermaid are playing, and we finish up a match, and she was Fuse. And so after she was done doing Fuse for that mission, she switched to Conduit. And for whatever reason, the game did not recognize her switching to Conduit. So she was basically Fuse wearing a conduit skin. And it was
that's a weird image right there.
Craziest thing ever. It's not even a weird image. It's more of a weird imagination, because it's conduit, but then you hear Fuse's voice.
I know. I'm basically imagining conduit like trying to cosplay Fuse.
Yeah, that would make better sense. Except
yes.
that's not how it played out. It's Fuse cosplaying as conduit and doing a very, very good job, like the Akali from, that video from like years ago that somehow I still get likes on my comment. I don't understand. But
just how the cookie crumbles.
Like everything, like for all intents and purposes in the game, she was Fuse, but she looked like conduit, and that was freaking crazy because like his launcher would come out of her like wrist area and then shoot grenades. And same with the mother load. Like it would just kind of come out of somewhere and then there it is. But again, she was conduit. At least on our side. The thing is that we don't know if she actually looked like Fuse to everyone else, or she looks like conduit, and the next thing you know, you got a freaking cluster grenade being shot at you from someone who you thought should be shooting shields at people.
Yeah, that would be a real mindfuck.
A complete utter bamboozling. I think, and I want to say this mainly because like we didn't get reported, I think it is that it was glitched on our side and that she looked like Fuse to everyone else, and only we on her squad saw her as conduit still. Because I know for a fact if I saw a motherfucker running around that looks like one legend and then has the abilities of another legend, I'm fucking reporting that person.
Well, yeah. As you should.
Especially if I die to them. Like, oh no, it's game the fuck over. Also, we've been hella reporting people for like quitting like early, and I was like,
has it been pretty bad?
Oh, well, yeah. It was almost like every other game for me and Mermaid, because it's the freaking meme of Wraith where it's like, oh, I'm going to not just Wraith, Bald Wraith. I'm going to push a fight by myself, and when I lose, I'm going to leave. And that's just pretty much what's happening. Like, people are...
Because they're such a nice people.
Because these guys are going into these fights that they have no business going into, and then they lose, and when we're not providing backup because we're like, why did you choose to go there? They leave immediately, and we're like, all right, well, you don't deserve to be playing this game, or whatever consequence that may come. So we just been like mass reporting people and been like, yo, left early, whatever.
It's just like, why leave early? Because like, especially in a game where you can potentially get revived.
Right, and with being a support character, all you have to do is go run up and craft it, and then boom, you're back. It's like, it's so much easier to revive people, and it's like, it's the fact that you're leaving because you're mad that you lost a fight, and that you were alone in it. That's really how it seems. Like, if we choose a landing spot and you choose to go somewhere else, that's on you. Like, don't expect the other two randoms that you've been matched with to follow you. Also, what's even more of like a audacity kind of thing of leaving when playing with us specifically is because we have the same tag. So you know we're together, like as a party that went in and you're the random. So why do you think, as the odd one out of these three, that you would be getting support from the two people who are clearly running this match together? Like, you should be more inclined to probably stay with those two, because at least realistically they probably will fight together. So you know if you stick around, you'll get a fight at least with them. I'm not saying you're gonna win, but I'm saying at least you have a, for all intents and purposes, an even fight. Team. Yeah. So yeah, it was just one of those things of just like, yo, this is ridiculous, and it just like kept happening. It was just like a day of it. So yeah, so that's how Apex has been broken. League broke in a hilarious way, apparently. So I saw a video that apparently 9 people got kicked from a ranked match.
Oh.
Because Vanguard detected a cheater.
Really?
So it terminated the game, and then everyone got lever penalties.
Oh, that's not supposed to happen.
So, yeah. I was like, all right. That's fun.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to get those lever penalties, so, Riot, you fucked up again.
Again. I get it. Like, there's a problem with people, like, ruining the game. But at the same time, when your fix also ruins the game, you really need to, like, double back to the drawing board on that one. Like, it's a mess.
You know, Riot doesn't like to see themselves as making a mistake.
They don't want to see themselves fixing a mistake.
That's the second half of that.
They'll admit making a mistake all they want. They just won't say. They'll be like, "Yeah, we did it," and and it would just be a mess. So there's that. What else? I think that was it that happened. Thing. Pokemon Go's been breaking in hilarious fashions.
Oh, really?
I opened up my, like, inventory, I guess, like my bag or whatever. I basically was completing a mission, and so I pulled up that Pokemon, and instead of being in the space that they were supposed to be, they were, like, shoved down into the abyss, and I could only see, like, what would equate to their forehead.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I was like, all right, that's fun. And it like, stayed like that.
Come back.
And it was like, yeah, it was like, hey, come up there. It was like, okay. I thought it broke, but it was just like mad lucky for me. Maybe, I don't know. During Community Day, I got 4 shinies in a row.
Well, shit.
And I was like, oh god, did the game break? Because it was all in the same cluster. So I thought it broke because I thought it like lost where I was, and so it basically pulled the data last, and like the last data was me getting a shiny, and so it was just like shiny, and just kind of like duplicated shiny. I don't know what happened. I got 4 shinies in a row. It was crazy. I tried to play the lottery, but then the universe said no. So
yeah, because you just used the wire luck.
Apparently, and then
you used your luck in the wrong place.
No, I wouldn't have said that. It showed up again to your dismay, but you don't play enough, so I'm not sad about it. Apex, so I got 3 heirloom things now.
Yeah, I'm slapping you.
Get good. So
okay, now you're getting punched.
You don't play enough. It's your fault.
I played a lot and I got nothing.
It's like, you gotta keep playing. I'm what level am I at now? And I'm 3 because it's 500 and I think I'm in the 3. So I'm somewhere in the 700s of actually being kept track of because I stopped leveling a while ago, and then they added the new levels, so then I started back up. So I am well down into the well of leveling. Also, all of the Amazon Prime ones added to it, and I pretty much did every event. So I am now the happy owner of level 1 of the Revenant skin.
You got the Revenant one?
Yep, because I wanted a skin, so I was like, skin. So
hopefully they don't release a Mirage one.
Oh, I'll just have to wait until then. And Mermaid's waiting to see if they release something for Conduit, because I don't know who the next one's supposed to be. And frankly, it might be a while because they've also released the Qatar stuff, which is the Universal ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They put a lot of work into that. So I don't know how much of like specific ones they're gonna do. So if I don't know, maybe in like 2 seasons she doesn't get someone else, I think she's gonna go for one of Loba's.
Yeah. Also, Prime Gaming has been very lackluster these days with the in-game content.
It has. And I'm starting to think it's because Amazon doesn't want to play nice as much with because that's why League stopped doing theirs was because Amazon was being difficult in providing what they needed to provide or like whatever the deal was to be able to do drops this way through that like that partnership or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking either A, they're actively trying to make it so that this isn't a thing anymore by like making it more difficult and not allowing them to do like certain things, like maybe they only put like a certain price point on the loot that they can give out via Prime subscriptions and stuff like that. Who knows? Bunch of red tape probably and bureaucracy bullshit.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
And so yeah, so it's been quite the ordeal. And yeah, so that's how I think the Major grows this week. A lot of things were just going wrong all at the same time, or relatively close to the same time. So I was like,
Yeah. Also, in the gaming sphere, did you see anything from the Nintendo Direct today?
No, I don't watch that.
Oh, okay.
Like I haven't been Team Nintendo for like 6 years. Like
I know, but it's always fun just to see what kind of games are coming out.
No, it's not.
Well, the Metroid game looked pretty good.
Never played any of the Metroid games ever.
I mean, same, but still look good.
If you say so. My other server was talking about it, which is crazy because it's either baseball or Nintendo Direct is when I will hear from them en masse. And it's a very interesting dichotomy of conversation. But that's what happens when you have a server of a bunch of dudes. You just kind of...
That's a weird transition.
How's it a weird transition? That's just how guys communicate. You'll deal with these people for like every day for however long you know them for, and you will literally never talk to them until like something comes up, and then another like 8 months will go by, and then you say something like nothing else happened. That is just how it is. So it's just a bunch of dudes who are like, hey, here's the thing. All right, cool. Everyone comment, who cares? All right, we're done here.
It's like, all right, see y'all next year.
Right. I was like, I see my like best friend once a year, and that's perfectly fine.
Oh, jeez.
So, because realistically, any more than that, we would kill each other. He annoys the living piss out of me, frankly, and vice versa.
That's concerning.
Well, this is what happens when you're friends with someone who doesn't like people. Yeah, I don't like people, and I don't like going places. But I also need people to play games with and go places. It's quite the conundrum. But that being said, it's time for drum roll somewhere. Would you rather? We're trying to bring back all of our fun classics, and we're going to see what would you rather scenarios have been presented to us via the Reddit page. Let's see if we have anything fun today. Let's see. All right, we'll start off simple. Telekinesis or telepathy. Clarification being, telekinesis is the ability to move things with your mind. Telepathy is the ability to read others' mind and speak and hear others with your mind. So, you want to pick things up and put them down, or...
Yes.
All right, there you go. I love how the comments. Telekinesis is the only answer. Telepathy is a guaranteed ticket to insanity.
Yeah. I mean, heck, Charles Xavier thought he was going insane because of all the voices he could hear.
And then, of course, the clarifier. I guess I should qualify that you can use it at will. However, being able to even being able to control it, you'd probably still drive. But it'll still drive you crazy. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to hear what's in people's heads.
That reminds me of a what's it? Man, my brain is just not keeping up with me. The one of those like spacefaring stories where pretty much like humans interacting on like the galactic scale and people, and I mean I'm used people very loosely, but essentially like whatever alien species we're interacting with doesn't take us serious because objectively we are like these idiots and children kind of like bumbling about, but like we're at that point where we have to be included in like the galactic front. And so it was basically kind of like a court hearing. And so they had like a system where basically the lie detector and against perjury or what have you is a machine that does it basically connects everyone's mind via telepathy, essentially, right? And so there's a human there, and they were like, "Hey, you probably should use this I forget what they called it, but it was basically like a mental shield." And it was like, you probably should use a mental shield because like I'm here, and as you know, humans cannot control their internal volume. Like we don't have that ability. It's just loud, right? And they were like, it doesn't matter. Like, so they blew it off. And then like, it doesn't matter. Just sit down. You're here to just be a part of the proceedings, whatever. It doesn't matter what you actually have to say, kind of deal, like, right? And they were like, all right. And so they get started, and then the room just starts going nuts. There is just, because the human had a song stuck in their head. And so the song was, and as you know, when you have a song stuck in your head, it's never the whole song. It's only that one part on repeat. And so it just kept going and going and going, and it's just at what essentially would be concert levels of volume in everyone's heads. And so they're just writhing around in agonizing pain because it's just like, make it stop. And just like they can't. So like the human just kind of like walks over, puts on the mental shield, and are like, we told you. And the twist of the story was basically that the whole thing was a ploy to hide the fact that we were like evacuating the planet because of an oncoming like attack from another race, and they didn't want them knowing that that's what they were doing.
Dear Lord.
But that's how I imagine like telepathy being, is that it doesn't matter like if you have control of it or whatever. It's literally just going to be like just this onslaught of thoughts. Even for like a split second, if you peek into someone's brain, it's just a rush. It's like me, let alone I have like 14 things moving at the same time that I can't consciously be aware of always. So I could only imagine if someone like opening the door and just like a floodgate of information just pours out and you just try to close the door, but then there you go, too late, your socks are wet.
There goes, open the floodgates.
So, all right, let's see what else we got. Murder. All right. Would you rather kill someone and get away with it? You don't get to choose who you kill, but you will get $50. That seems low.
Oh, hey.
That seems like a low amount. Or have someone kill you and immediately be caught, tried, and sentenced to death. You can also choose the killer and method of killing you. Let's see. Looks like they put some stipulations here. And so there's no innocent people will be wrongly accused of the crime. The case just goes cold. The person you kill will not be one of your loved ones or a loved one of one of your loved ones. Jesus Christ.
So basically no one you know.
Yeah, no one you know, which would have been so much easier to say. And then the second option is the killer's guilt is so obvious that even someone who has devoted their life to supporting the killer will realize they killed you for no reason.
Is it bad that my mind went to death by snail?
No, because I went there too. It reminded me of another story that's similar. Like, that's not similar to this, but yeah, no, death by snail entirely.
Bring out the snail.
So it's so the story was, it's like you wake up in a room full of of various other people, and an announcer says that whoever like, this is a race. Whoever is last to the destination dies. And the first destination is Mars, right? And so a part of the kidnapping, whatever happened, whoever was in the room no longer ages. So you're just basically functionally immortal. As long as you don't do anything that would otherwise get you killed, you don't age, is whatever. And the goal is to get to Mars. So the story goes of the various voices coming out and being like, oh, that's easy. We just have to stay here. And there you go. No one dies, whatever. And then someone's like, well, why would I stay here? I don't even know you people. Like, how can I assume that you won't just, like, try to run off, whatever? And then, like, the voice of reason is like, guys, the goal line is Mars. Unless, you're, already an astronaut, we don't see that going to be happening anytime soon. And so we'll, like, totally see who's doing it on the news of being the, first person to Mars. And as everyone's, like, quieting down and being like, oh, hey, yeah, we could just, leisure time or whatever, someone drops dead, and then you see a snail.
Oh, Jesus. The snail is upon us.
The snail is upon us. So, yeah. I would like to know who created the original, like, death by snail story, and make sure that they're locked up.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they can't be out in public. They can't be in society. That is such a terrifyingly fucked up thought that I can only imagine what else you have created.
So, as I'm typing in who created Death by Snail, Google decided to autofill as it does, and it was who created Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As my brain goes to Family Guy, not Family Guy, Futurama.
I mean, it should be.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Who created this thing? God. Okay. This does not help me. I am.
Find out the results on the next episode of The Dragon's Den.
Yeah, I'm literally. I'm having no results here. What the fuck?
Oh, this is gonna be a fun deep dive. All right. Well, we'll find out maybe later. We thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discourse of the nonsense that spewed out of our mouths. And we hope you join us for the next episode of what spews out of our mouths then. And game Street Fighter 6. I have that now, so that's what the game we'll be playing, or at least I will be playing, is. So. Have fun.
See y'all next time.